Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Professionals Pulse. I am Farida Musaddi, the CEO of Alphateh Technologies, Dubai. Well, today we're going to talk something really interesting about AI, machine learning, and predictive analysis in the travel industry. Well, at Alphateh, we've cultivated a dynamic environment where cutting edge technologies drive our pursuit of excellence. With an unwavering commitment to advancement in artificial intelligence, machine learning, these have become integral pillars of our ethos. These transformative changes and technologies captivate our imagination and fuel our relentless quest for innovation. Today, modern travel is where the fusion of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and predictive analysis revolutionizes the concept of personalization and customization. In this era of technological advancement, travelers are no longer mere passengers, but discerning individuals seeking unique, tailored experiences. By harnessing the power of AI, ML, and predictive analytics, the travel industry has embarked on a transformative journey towards offering personalized services and curated experiences that resonate with the specific desires and preferences of each traveler. From recommending personalized itineraries to anticipating individual needs, these cutting edge technologies are reshaping the landscape of travel, ushering in an era of unparalleled customization and seamless experience. Join us as we delve into the realm of personalized travel experiences driven by data driven insights and innovative technologies. And joining us today on this episode is Dr. Shakti Goel. Dr.
Mm.
Shakti, thank you so much for joining us today on the Professionals Pulse.
Thank you, Farida. Thank you for having me here. I really look forward to our chat today.
Absolutely, sir. We do totally. So, Dr. Shakti Goel is a result driven senior level professional in data, product, and technology, boasting over 21 years of experience, global experience across both the private and the government sectors. His transformative leadership has been instrumental in achieving remarkable increases in top and bottom lines with a track record of driving revenue growth even in challenging times such as COVID-19 pandemic. Notably, Dr. Goel spearheaded the cultural shift towards data driven strategies within a travel company, resulting in a remarkable 10% month on month revenue growth and ensuring the company's resilience without resorting to layoffs during the downturn in travel. Additionally, he has founded a successful consulting firm in the US, specializing in enterprise application development, data warehousing, machine learning, software engineering, and product development. Dr. Goel's exceptional educational background includes studies at renowned institutions such as MIT, Sloan School of Management, and the IIT Delhi. A sought after speaker at conferences and panel discussions, he also serves as a mentor for startup firms and has contributed to peer reviewed journals with his research articles on data analytics, technology, and machine learning. Dr. Goel, thank you so much once again, and it's an honor to have you here with us.
Okay, thank you, Farida. Thank you for the great introduction.
Absolutely. So, to begin with, how does artificial intelligence or machine learning or predictive analysis, as we say, how are they shaping the future of personalized travel experiences? If you could
Mhm.
share a few examples of how these technologies are improvising the travel journey for individuals.
Sure, Farida. I would like to sum up the sentiment by saying that AI allows you to do the same things that you were able to do earlier, but now in a much better way with higher accuracy, with reduced manpower, with reduced errors, and and in a much faster or in a much smaller time frame, right? So that is what AI allows. So AI is doing what we used to do earlier, but now you're doing it better. So a few examples would be, say for example, you're doing a search for a hotel in Dubai, and you see exactly what you want, on the first page of the search results, as if the system has read your mind, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, how does that happen? Basically, you analyze your historical data. You see, I mean, the system understands your interest, and it knows that next time when you come in and you're looking for this city or this group of cities, I'm going to recommend these hotels, right? So
Yes.
this is one example of use of AI in getting the personalized search results. Now, earlier you would do, if you want to visit a location, you have to know more about it, right? If I want to visit Dubai or Spain or any country in Europe, first I would need to know more about it, and then I would say that, okay, I want to go there, and then I would make a package. But now, concepts of Gen AI, right? I mean, models like Chat GPT or, for instance, Gemini, you can say that, I want to go to a location which is next to the sea. It has archaeological sites, it has nice restaurants, and I want to go there for, say a week. And can you recommend such places? And I actually myself tried this, and we have built an application around it. What it will give you is, it will give you places in Spain, or it will give you places in Greece, because that has ocean, it has a lot of history, and it has nice restaurants. And then you can
Correct.
say, okay, uh, make a package for me, show me an itinerary. It will do that for you, right? So that is all personalized based on your interests. And also, if you want, I mean, there are AI models which will predict the prices of flights, for future.
Okay.
If you, for instance, always want to go from, let's say, Mumbai to Delhi, and you're a frequent traveler, or from Delhi to Dubai, if you're a frequent traveler, it will tell you when to go, when to buy the ticket, what time of the day you should buy the ticket, all those things. And also, especially in Dubai, I mean, Dubai is an amazing place. I mean, when I go for visa immigration, I don't have to show my passport to anyone. It is all done through retina scan. I have to stand
Correct.
there. The camera scans my retina. It knows who I am. The gate opens, and I am free to enter the country. The same thing is happening also, like in India. Like you go to various airports. There's this concept of Digi Yatra, and based on
Mhm.
facial recognition, you can go through the end-to-end check-in process. So all these technologies are now coming up, like facial recognition, which is based on like vision analytics. There are a lot of machine learning models. For example, long short-term memory models like LSTM. I can go on and on about this, but these things are now coming together to enhance the personal experiences of the
Okay.
traveler. Yeah.
So as you were saying that people today, there are a lot of applications where individuals can go, they can put in what they are actually wanting to do on a trip, and they create your itineraries. So isn't that in a way also going to affect travel companies, because today everything is available to the smart user, the
Mhm.
itinerary and everything is available on one click? And is it also a little bit this because uh, it could be that people come up with certain what do you say, unrealistic expectations or something which is sometimes not possible when you
Mhm.
actually put it down? Do you think such
Yeah.
things also happen?
Right. So, I mean, there will be an impact, I think, on the travel agencies, especially who work in the B2B space, even the B2C companies. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I would like go back to that old adage, the old saying that change is the only constant. So, companies will have to continuously adapt to new technologies that are coming in place. So, they can actually build applications which will be Gen AI based, and that will allow customers to make, or customers to create packages. Now,
Correct.
creating packages is one thing, and then able to buy it within your budget is another thing. So that's where the role, I think, of the travel agencies will come in. So if I want to go to Greece and my budget is, I don't know, 250,000 rupees, and what all can I do in that, right? So
Correct.
here, competitiveness will increase if the companies are able to provide, like a good itinerary, a good
Yeah.
package. Then the customers will buy that. But what this will allow you to do is that, say for example, if I'm going from India and I want to go to Peru, I mean, how many people know about Peru, first of all, in India, and how many people go there? But
Right.
I had read about a place called Machu Picchu, which is an ancient Inca civilization place, and I want to go and see that. But I have absolutely no idea about Peru. How do I create a package around it? How do even the travel agencies in India create a package around it when they don't know
Correct.
much about that country? That's where I think, like all these newer technologies like Gen AI will help us. Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with this. So, actually, AI has made the world a smaller place for all of us.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh, so, Dr. Goel, what are the key challenges in implementing such kind of AI or ML based technologies for
Mhm.
personalized travel, and how does one overcome them?
Right. So, Farida, what I would say is that whenever we apply AI technologies, we have to understand what it actually is and what it will actually give you. Right. You have to separate, as they say, wheat from chaff. Or or
Okay,
like or like when the rubber hits the road, it has to stick. What I mean is that if I build an application around AI, it has to be production ready. So the main challenge with AI is that it is not 100% accurate. It will be 75 to 80 to 85% accurate, right? Is that
okay,
acceptable to you? That is number one.
absolutely.
Number two is that this technology still is a kind of expensive. So if I'm going to build an application around something like Chat GPT or Open AI, and I want to build a Gen AI application, you will see a lot of hallucinations. What hallucination means is that you ask the same question at different times of the day or different days of the week, you may get a different answer, right?
Correct.
So it is
Yeah.
not only the question of accuracy, it is getting a different response every time. So what you do
Yes.
is you can try to train your own LLM model, but then that will cost you millions, right? So Gen
Absolutely.
AI technology is still very expensive. The other thing is, if you want to build a project around AI, you have to convince your company, you have to convince your bosses, your board about the ROI of that project. One of the challenges with AI is it is still research driven. You can do a lot of work in it, you can do a lot of research, and still at the end of the day, nothing may come out of it, right?
Correct.
Because whatever you are trying to build was centered around the data set you had, and AI failed to find any patterns in that data set, right? If there are no pattern, then there's no AI. All these,
Absolutely.
all these like kind of challenges are there. And to make things even more difficult uh, would be the talent availability. You need to have right people with the right mindset who understand what AI is, how is it different from software engineering, how is it different from automation, right?
Correct.
So that kind of understanding has to be there in the talent, and that kind of difficult to like find and come around. Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely these things are being overcome across different
Yes.
industries. So,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. As the companies realize the importance of AI and they realize their cost savings, right? So now the
yes.
board is willing to invest more and more into these technologies.
Okay. If you could give us an experience of, I think, what we read in your bio for one of the companies that you had been a game changer, especially during the pandemic, and how
Mhm.
you revived the company from because there was a downtime in the travel industry during those 2 years of pandemic. So, anything
Right.
if you could share with us on that front?
Sure. So earlier I used to work for a company, TBO. When I joined the company, all the analytics was Excel driven. It was data was exchanged through emails and all that. And getting access to data was very expensive, even if assuming it was possible to get access to it. So the first thing I did was to build, a customer data platform, data-centric model, and it's called a data warehouse that was across all the lines of businesses like hotels and airlines and sightseeing, car rentals, cruises, everything. You name it, it was there. And basically the data was in multiple systems. It was diverse, and you had to still bring everything together through the principles of data integration and all that. So first of all that was done. Now that helped us in democratizing and commoditizing data. So what that means is that everyone in the company now had access to data, right? All right, so that is a democratization. Then it
Correct.
became a commodity because now the information was available on your fingertips. It was no longer expensive, right?
Yes.
Uh, So once that was achieved, everyone had access to this information, and the only language they started speaking was around data. That was a huge shift, a transformative shift, among the company's culture. The company wanted to go IPO, and they submitted something called a draft red herring document. If you look at the document, 60 to 70% of the document is nothing else but data. It is showing patterns. All this actually came from this system. Now during pandemic, the way it helped us was, we had to find places where we could sell things. And what happened in pandemic is that people wanted to go on longer vacations or longer time periods, right? Because movement was not freely allowed, so you would go to a place like a hill station and be there for 2 months, right?
Yes.
Or and like that was a phenomenon not only in India, but it was a global thing. So by doing the search analysis as to what people are searching for, we were able to identify these sweet spots as to, and then how we can cater to those customers, how we can find those kinds of accommodations, and then help people to stay in those places for longer periods of time. That actually helped us a lot. So
Correct.
yeah, so I mean, quite a few things by just doing analytics. There was no machine learning here at all at this stage. It was pure BI, pure data analytics. But building a system like this was a huge challenge. But once this was done, a lot of things became easy. Then the other thing, Farida, we did was we built a machine learning model using a technology called LSTM. It stands for Long Short-Term Memory Model, and it's a variant of RNN, recurrent neural network. What it does is it helps you making forecast if your data is in a time series. So if I know the sales for last 3 years or 4 years, I can predict the sales for the next 1 month, next 2 months, right?
Okay.
So LSTM is an extremely accurate technique. So models were developed around it. And what the finance department, what the sales department did was they will look at this model, they will see where what the run rate of the company was, whether it was going to meet the goals or not. And based on that, they were able to tweak things. They were able to tweak the prices of the hotels and all that to increase sales or to increase the profitability. So all these
Okay.
things actually came into play. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. And I think these examples can be used across different industries, not only
Yes.
specific to travel.
Right, right. So basically, data is industry agnostic. I
Correct.
mean, you should be able to analyze data. I mean, the data could be IoT data, it could be from e-commerce, it could be from travel, any industry. Yes,
Absolutely.
uh, but the thing here is that you should be able to build a centralized, consolidated system to do the analysis. If the system is
Absolutely.
not available, what happens is that you have to request for that data set. It will come to you in Excel, then you combine it, and then you say, okay, I missed this. Then you go back, like there's a repetitive loop, and then the momentum gets lost, and like you don't end up getting what you started with. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. So, moving on, how do travel companies balance between offering these kind of personalized experiences to their customers and also ensuring the data privacy and security for these customers?
Yeah, Farita, that's a great question, and it is becoming more and more relevant. Like as new laws around digital privacy, data protection. For example, there is a DPDP law that came out in August 2023 in India, which says that companies, like not just travel companies, but any company cannot keep the personal data or even the transactional data of the customer if that data is no longer being used to service the customer directly, right?
Okay.
So these challenges are there, but I mean, these acts or these regulations have not matured yet. But I will give you an example of how we handled this scenario for data that was originating outside India, especially in Europe. So we ensured that we were GDPR compliant. All our servers were located in Europe itself, and lot of our customers were captive customers, meaning they have to sign up with us before they can start doing business with us. So when we got the agreement signed, you they actually accepted to the fact that like we will be collecting data on their behalf. It will not be their personal data. It will be the transactional data which we may use further to enhance our business and to give them better experience. So they
Correct.
agreed to it. They signed it. And now we also like when like people go to a website, the website will ask you for consent. So that
Yes.
way, whatever information we are collecting is consent based, right? We just don't
Correct.
take information without their knowledge.
Correct.
So once we have that information, now we design systems. So one example I gave you earlier was that when I'm doing a search, I get to see the hotels that I want on the very first page itself. And when the
Yeah,
customers see that, they said, okay, fine, collect this information, but like give me a better experience. I love that. So that way, it becomes a win-win situation.
absolutely. Yes. Okay. So, what role, since we are talking about that, what role do customer preferences and historical data play in creating these tailored travel recommendations using the AI algorithms?
Yeah, sure, Farida. I mean, AI is centered around data, right? If there's no
Correct.
data, there's no data.
Yeah.
Further, further to that, there has to be pattern, discernible pattern in data. It cannot be just
Okay.
randomness, right? Now, what
Absolutely.
happens is the AI runs on historical data to make predictions for the future. So, one
Future. Yes.
example I'll give you here is that we had built a system where you would collect all the search data. And what I mean by search is that, let's say I'm looking for a hotel in Dubai, and
Okay.
I find Ramada Inn, right?
Mhm.
And I click on Ramada Inn, then I get to see a list of rooms, and then I click on a room, and
Correct.
I enter the room data, and then I click on something else to see what else is being offered. That shows the level of interest of that person in that hotel, right?
Correct.
Now the person, let's say, like comes out and says, and then like clicks on Palm Dubai. Palm Dubai, like is a very expensive hotel, maybe like a seven-star hotel. The person
Right.
goes in there and then comes out immediately. So using something called web stream analytics, right? Every
Yes.
click of the customer is captured, and that tells us the interest level of that person. So if the
Yes.
person went four level deep in the search, we assign a score of, let's say, four to that. If the person
Correct.
goes one level deep, we assign a score of one to that hotel. Now, if
Okay.
that search converts to a booking, right? If I booked Ramada Inn, right, that means that I was really interested in it, and then I will give a score of maybe 10. I'm
Okay.
like to that search to that booking. All this historical data is then collected for last few days, right?
Okay.
And then there are machine learning algorithms like hierarchical neural network, and there is
Yeah.
also something called collaborative filtering. What it does is it links the interest of the user to the item or to the product
Okay.
that is being searched, right? So
Okay.
all this is coming from history. Then what you
Okay.
do is next time when the customer comes in, the customer gets to see the hotel where he or she has expressed the most interest in,
Correct.
right? And then on the first page you will see like the top 20 hotels, and
Correct.
like those hotels would be displayed. When we implemented this algorithm, we found that the number of bookings from the first page jumped from 10 to 15% all the way up to 60 to 70%, right? It was as if the system knew that what the person wanted, and it did all that from the historical data.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, are there any plugin applications that are available for such kind of tracking, which can be used and plugged into your existing portals, or they have to be customized softwares that have to be developed?
So for now, see, the algorithms are already there. I've not come across any plugin that will work
Okay.
here because
Okay.
this requires some data massaging, data handling, and
Correct.
and then feeding that data into the like into the algorithm, and then the algorithm will run, and then it's going to predict. You know,
Correct.
so yeah, I don't think that there are any plugins that I at least know of now.
Okay. But and I think even
Mhm.
companies like Amazon and eBay, the e-commerce
Yeah,
portals, they are also using similar kind of technology.
absolutely. Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely, they do that. And let me give you an example which I found very exciting. By education, actually, I'm a chemical engineer. Then, how did I become a data scientist? What actually took me there? So, back in '97, right, while I was looking for jobs and I was trying different things, I came across an article, a full page ad that was in Wall Street Journal. It
Okay.
showed, a young man wearing only baby diapers and holding a beer in his hand, right? Young man, baby diapers, only beer. What happened at that time was that data warehousing had just started in the US, or actually in the world. In the entire world, it was the first instance. They analyzed the data and they found that young fathers, when they
Mm-hmm.
go out to buy baby diapers, they also buy beer. right?
Oh,
That was an interesting insight that actually came out of data. That, and
okay.
at that point, the stores started keeping the baby diapers and beer together in the store. All these things. So now you see that a lot. If you go to Amazon, it will say, okay, customers who bought this
Yes.
also bought this, right?
Bought this.
That
Yes.
is, yeah, yeah. So that is something through called item association and all that. But when you look at all this and you see that there's so much data, you can bring so much insights, and it comes out in short time, right? It's not like you're doing a lot of
Absolutely.
research on it. That is what
Correct.
actually got me excited, and I said, this is the area I want to be in.
I know. And there's so many things that you can do, just enhance the entire customer experience, uh,
Yes.
and make sure that the customer is coming back to your portal, because it is almost like a one-on-one experience that you are giving to the customer through an
Yes.
online portal.
Yes, exactly. Personalization is a huge thing. If you can
Yes,
understand the customer, then you can do your business really well. Yes.
correct, correct. So, how can AI powered chatbots and
Mhm.
virtual assistants also enhance the level of personalization in travel booking and customer support?
Yeah, so chatbots can be of many different kinds. I mean, the chatbots we generally see are rule-based chatbots. You will see a list of questions, and you're going to click on a question, then it will give you a
Yes,
response.
yes,
And
yes.
right, so there is not much AI or not much machine learning kind of thing built in. Then you have
Correct.
some chatbots where you can ask questions. They are
Yeah.
NLP driven, natural language
Language
processing
processing.
driven,
Yeah.
and then it will give you a response accordingly. Now you have chatbots that can be run against Gen AI models where they don't have to be trained as to what the question is about. Earlier, you had to
Okay.
explain the intent of the question. It says, I want to go to Dubai. You have to explain what that question means, right, to the chatbot. Now you don't have to do that because the Gen AI model, large language models, already understand that, right?
Okay.
So there is this concept of retrieval augmented Gen AI. It's called RAG.
Okay.
What it does is when a customer logs in, so let's say I log in, the system knows who I am. It will pull the data from the system and it is going to load into chatbot. And
Okay.
then when I ask questions, it will large language model using the RAG technology will go back to this data set and respond, right? This was
Okay.
not possible earlier. So this is where you can give a lot of a personalized experience to the person. So for example, I call in and I say that, look, I had bought this flight from you and I was paying on EMI. For some reason, I cannot pay you the EMI this month. The system will analyze my behavior. It will say that, yeah, this person has been a good customer with us, so we don't want to lose this customer. And the system
Correct.
will be made intelligent enough to say that, okay, for this customer, just let him or her know that your EMI is waived for this month. So like you can like pay your EMI next month. All that
Okay.
kind of giving personalized experience and saying, so the customer says, wow, you know what, this is such a great company, I want to work with it. It understands me. The other thing with chatbot is, you can build your customer service agents using chatbot kind of technology. What it means is when I call a company, uh, it may seem that I am speaking to a person, but it may actually be a chatbot, an
Okay.
agent. Yeah, an agent who has been trained, right, using all the large language model technologies, whatever is out there, and it will communicate with you as if it's a human being.
Human
Now the
agent.
voice will, and the voice can also be changed, right? It can be trained, and it can be
Okay.
made to sound human,
Okay.
right? Yeah, yes, like it won't sound like a computer voice, but it will sound like human. So there is a lot of AI work that has been done in that area.
Okay.
So I mean, possibilities are really endless here, Farida, I would say.
And you're saving up on huge costs of maintaining such kind of call centers or customer support centers,
Absolutely,
as these can be run
that is
24 by 7.
24/7. Yes, you can speak to a human, a person, 24/7, except that it's not a person. Yeah,
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's absolutely wonderful.
yeah.
Because yes, even I have experienced that, sometimes when you go on a website, they give you a standard set of questions and you have to
Mhm.
choose from them, but many a
Right.
times your query is not pertaining to those questions. You want to ask
That's right.
something, and then some of them also then tell you, they give you an option to contact an agent. So then there
Yes,
is a human who comes in afterwards if your
right.
query is not amongst the predefined list.
That's right. Absolutely, Farida. So now all that I think will change, and you will, from step one itself, you will have an experience of like speaking to a person, of an agent who is highly intelligent, who has all the information with it, right? So that's another thing. If you're speaking to an agent, the person will say, "Okay, please wait a second, let me get this information." But this agent, this AI agent will already have this information, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
That'll be a breakthrough, definitely.
That will definitely be, yes, yes, yes. Agreed. So we are
So,
getting there.
absolutely. And I think very soon, it won't take
Mhm.
much of a time.
Yeah.
Lastly, in what ways do AI driven recommendations contribute to sustainable and responsible travel choices for consumers?
Mhm. So I would say that sustainable is possible. You can make the whole system sustainable. There is this concept called reinforced learning. Here, you basically train the model over and over again, over and over, based on the response you receive from the customer, right?
Okay,
So basically you show something to a customer and the customer says no, right? It's a negative reward. The customer says yes and it chooses it, so that is a positive reward, and the model learns that next time when this customer comes I should show this, right? So the whole concept can be made sustainable. Even the example I gave you about listing the hotels, as we collect more data, right? Once you have shown the listing, a renewed listing to the customer, and the customer chooses from that listing, you know that it is correct. If still the person goes to page 2 or page 3 of the listing, then you know what you showed was not correct. So you have to
correct. Yeah.
retrain it. That is where you reinforce the system, and this whole thing becomes sustainable. But then the
Okay.
other thing is the system responsible? Will it take any responsibility? So one thing that I am very clear about it, that the system will do what it is trained on. There is no
Yes.
such thing as ethics in AI. AI has
Yes.
absolutely no ethics because it does not understand human emotions, because it has not been trained on that. It
Correct.
cannot differentiate from right or wrong. For
Yes.
example, if it is recommending a hotel and the hotel happens to be in some dark alley of a very unsafe neighborhood, and
Yeah.
you have not told them and you have not trained the model on that, then the model will recommend that place, although it may be the
Correct.
worst place to go to, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
where I think that the responsibility has to be built in into the
Yes.
system. And when you're
Yeah.
training the system, that is needed. And that's where, I've also recommended something called AI Governance Council, that whenever you
Mhm.
build a model, that governance council has to be there, so that it knows that whatever you're building is being built in the right way. You know,
Correct.
I mean, it has
Okay.
ethics, it has responsibility, and all that. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Uh, Also, I wanted to ask, as you said, choosing a hotel which may not be at a favorable location. Moreover, people from across the globe when they are accessing. So, definitely, those kind of recommendations would also differ for people from different countries. Or sometimes you're traveling with family. Sometimes there are women solo travelers,
Yeah.
so even in that ways, the experience or the recommendations have to differ depending on whom you are traveling with, what geographical location you are traveling from. I think even that
Yeah.
should be accounted.
Yes, absolutely. So, whenever we train a model, there's this concept of feature engineering. What is feature
Okay.
engineering? Features are the inputs to the system, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, what is an AI model? It's a model. It takes some inputs and then there's an output from it, right? So the feature engineering or the set of inputs have to be such that it is able to cater to different demands. As you said, a women solo traveler, or person traveling with family, with small children, and all that. Yes.
Correct.
So when you train the system, all this information, if you have that available and if it can be fed into the system, then I think that will really help.
So, Dr. Goel, wouldn't it be, I don't think it'll be wrong to say that at this stage, more than using AI or machine learning or predictive analysis in the B2C, I mean, from the consumer end, it is more likely to be used by businesses so
Mm-hmm.
that they understand the customer behavior in a better way and be
Yes.
able to, show those choices or show, introduce new trends, introduce new offerings to the customer. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that from the consumer end till now the AI would be that advanced or progressed to give a customer the actual scenario of what they are looking for. Am I correct, or
Yeah,
what do you think?
basically the business. So AI will be developed by businesses to help the customers.
Yes, yes.
Right. So in this case, the customer itself may be agnostic of the fact that of the fact that whatever he or she is interacting with is AI driven, AI generated. Uh, so I think here the responsibility lies more with the businesses in this case.
Businesses. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Absolutely. Uh, Dr. Goel, thank you so much for joining us here on the Professionals Pulse. It has been amazing to talk to you and hear so many insights. A lot of interesting facts that we also came to know about how the recommendations work and what kind of technologies, how the data is trained to give that seamless experience to the end user. And of course, looking forward, maybe soon we'll have the chatbot agents who would be coming in and playing the role of customer agents. So, thank you so much for sharing all of these amazing things with us.
Thank you so much, Farida, for having me over, and I really appreciate that you started this channel because this is one way to spread knowledge.
Yes,
If social media and such podcasts were not there, I actually also watch a lot of podcasts, and that's how I learn. So thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
absolutely. So, in conclusion, the integration of AI, machine learning, and predictive analytics in the realm of personalization and customization within the travel industry marks a pivotal turning point. As we move forward, harnessing these advanced technologies enables us to deliver experiences that cater to the unique preferences and needs of each traveler. With a focus on enhancing customer satisfaction, driving loyalty, and maximizing revenue, the synergy between data driven insights and personalized offerings promise to redefine the future of travel. Embracing innovation and leveraging the power of these technologies, we embark on a journey towards a more seamless, immersive, and personalized travel experience for all. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Okay, thank you. Bye now.
Bye bye.